Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones. Blind. I think I'm finally ready to enter the theater. Show me your mark of cleansing. Uncover your chest and show your mark of cleansing. With a peculiar look of satisfaction in his eyes, the hooded man examines the esoteric wound, which is still tingling on your chest. You said farewell to self-respect, my fellow cleansed. Ah, mankind's useless effort to maintain the illusion of dignity when compared to gods that actually exist. Do you think we really have any? Good riddance, brethren. That lie was holding you back. The cultist steps away from the entrance. You should be ready for the revelation within, brother. Go and witness our beautiful doom. And if you completely lose it in there, don't forget that the ultimate submission is to depart from the boundaries of your inferior mind. I would envy you if I was capable of such a feeling. Theater of Bones. I wish you'd share those visions with me. The blessed dread. I envy you. It's full of dead people. The Reel of Doom. I had the chance to watch it. Here, the end will be glorified thereafter. I need to find the corpse of the inventor. Become cleansed and reborn. Sacred Paradise of Oblivion. I am cleansed of compassion. The scope of the wanton carnage that befell Arkham's higher echelon does a lot more than raise one's hair. The air of morbidness here is almost asphyxiating. Before you is a disciple who is put in deep trance by his persistent chanting. The momentum of his repetitive body movements has reached a frightening extremity. Words that come out of his mouth are no longer intelligible. You can't hear much except the rapid sound of breathing. Observe him. For quite some time you watch his movement patterns in order to make an analysis as to what conscious state he's putting himself into. The tempo he keeps, the way in which he moves, and the effort he makes to maintain them have created a barrier that separates him from the outside world. What you have learned may help you perhaps ward off the horrid realities of New Arkham. Perk gained, Hypnotic Barrier. Oh, I didn't want to do it, actually, yet. I thought I would just inspect the thing. And the chair, rather than sit in it. I won't vote for Adams. He looks like a mean man. No alcohol in such an event. Such a shame. This is the first time I'm going to watch a motion picture. Would you like a cigar? Straight from Havana. They say Mayor Anderson is lobbying with the Boston elite. You should have seen her. A particularly frustrated guest glances around and grumbles. What is this garbage? Grape juice? Is this what we're deemed worthy of in such a respectable event? We won't even be able to relish a real, and if possible select wine? You, sir, do you condone this nonsense? Prohibition, my ass. Forget about it. This used to be the land of liberty. The motion picture technology is incredible. Look at the motions of this man. Although if you're asking about my opinions on prohibition, I would agree it's kinda ridiculous. As the man barfs out his complaints, you pick up the smell of whiskey in his bread. Preposterous, whatever. He takes out a flask and extends it to you. Mammoth Cave, old Kentucky style. Would you like to sip? I better not. You too are a slave to the crooked system then. No good being this sheepish. His attention is not with you anymore. Well, to be honest, I disagree. I am perfectly able to being in favor of things that I personally don't want to do. Have you met a movie starlet? I've heard this is the world premiere. Do you have any idea who the mysterious Baroness is? Have you been to the recent show by the magician, Horatio? Although her appearance seems to be fitting the guest profile of this exquisite event perfectly, the elegant young woman before you seems noticeably distant and detached from the people around her. Without a word, she watches you emerge. In the glitter of her pearls on her scintillating necklace is only shadowed by the melancholia in her eyes. Good evening, miss. Good evening, sir. Her words sound like those of a ghost, bound to this place against its will. I am Charles Dexter Ward. A pleasure. Or, excuse me, but you don't look here like you're enjoying yourself. Surprised by your approach, she raises an eyebrow. Forgive me if I'm putting a damper on your mood, sir, but I have neither the strength nor the remedy to get out of this. I have to ask you to leave me to myself. Please just enjoy the occasion. I'm not a person to leave someone in such distress to herself. I have to admit, you do not behave like most of the guests here. I don't think I've seen you before, sir. Are you an Arkhamite, if I might ask? Well, am I? I think I am. I studied at the local university. I am. I see. Well, thank you for your kindness. I am Amelia Emsworth. She bows gently before looking to the distant spot she seems to prefer to the most exquisite people in Arkham. Let's just say that my spirit is somehow darkened by the loss of a close acquaintance. He was dear to me, and his absence is felt keenly. Has he passed away? You could say that. We'll never see each other again, if truth be told. May I ask who this person might be? Her eyes search for someone in the crowd first. When she starts talking again, you get the impression that the person she was looking for is nowhere nearby. I prefer to keep his name to myself, sir. You wouldn't know him either, for he is a gentleman of native origin. You never see people like him at events such as this. He was an Abenaki Indian whom I've met at a séance. Someone dear. Let's just say he was the only one who could see the person inside me. Know that I too have endured my share of losses. I'm here if you'd like to share. She remains silent. Together, you look at the guests laughing, chatting, boasting, flirting among themselves, unaware of the inevitable awaiting them on the doorstep. You were slowly being hypnotized by the spectral humming of the crowd when Amelia's gentle voice brought you back to your senses. You have a feeling that the movie reel you find yourself in was playing with your mind. I was about to get engaged when I met him. Amelia says, partly to you and mostly to herself. Benedict was, and still is, a good-looking, educated, wealthy, everything a girl could ask for and maybe more, and I liked him, that's true, but did I want to live life with him? I wasn't really sure of that. Father gave his full blessing to my relationship with Benedict, and why wouldn't he? He is the son of Mr. Anderson, the mayor, after all. But I never had the chance to hear my mother's opinion, take her advice. Why don't you see each other? Tuberculosis took her, she lowers her head. It's been 3 years. There hasn't been a single day since then when I didn't feel the need for her guidance, so I decided to do something naive, stupid even. I decided to arrange a séance so I could finally listen to what my mother had to say from beyond the grave. You think it's nonsense? I've seen much stranger things in New England high society. I can guess. To make a long story short, we became friends with the psychic I had hired to conduct, a young Indian called Chad. Since the very beginning, his company made me feel at ease, at peace with myself. He was a bit withdrawn, but also very thoughtful and perceptive. He always knew, and most importantly cared for how I felt. After a long while, in his presence, I was no longer in a contest. I didn't have to prove how beautiful I was, or how ideal I was just me. The fragile and gentle smile that appears on her face is quickly darkened by the ailment known as distress. What happened then? It was Mayor Anderson who learned about us. His driver has seen us strolling through Willows. Arkham is no Boston after all. So my future father-in-law came and told me something I still can hear. He told me that if I ever burden his family with such disgrace again... Crystal tears formed slowly in her eyes. He swore to God that he would have that river rat sent to the eugenics camp out west, where he would be castrated like a worthless donkey. I get. I didn't even really consider this, but that's right within the time frame where that would have been acceptable. Before Second World War, eugenics, and specifically sterilizing people forcibly who were considered like lowlifes or, not useful to society, it was actually a thing that happened. Eugenics camp? It's one of those barbarous places where they do horrible things to people they declare unfit for society. They say it is done to improve the health of society, but everyone knows the truth. And no one does a thing. They call it science. I'll tell you what it is. It's controlled, methodical mass murder. I wouldn't call it murder. You're not murdering anyone, unless you believe the future children they might have had, that's somehow murder. But I don't think even people who are anti-abortion don't think that. They think that life begins at conception, but they wouldn't call you a murderer for not having children. But I do agree it's wrong, obviously. How can they do such a thing to human beings? Imagining Chad in such a place for even 1 second froze my blood. I could never be a reason for that. At our next meeting, I told him terrible things I never meant. You wanted to drive him away. I told him he was simply a plaything. I told him I found the mysterious Indian act interesting for some time, but it grew old fast. She desperately clings to your arm. I have a bad feeling about all of this, sir. My heart has felt heavy throughout the night. I have to tell this or I'll burst. The tears are beginning to flow. And you've scratched the wound too much, so listen. Amelia Emsworth loved Abenaki Chad like she loved no one else. I'll just stay silent. After she collapses in sobs, you hear the crystal beads run down her cheek. Under her bright light of the hall's majestic chandelier, her tears look just as bright as the milky pearls of her necklace. I'm supposed to collect those, right? For Like, isn't that one of the... I thought that was one of the ingredients for the magic thingamajig. I guess she's just crying. What is it that I'm doing here exactly? The man of short stature smiles like a child visiting a circus for the first time, and neither with his uncouth comportment nor his ill-fitting attire does he appear to have blended into the high-toned occasion. He looks carefree, save the occasional glance or two at the briefcase he grips so tightly. He's the inventor. Good evening. Enjoying the event, sir? What's not to like about the greatest marvels of the modern times? The motion picture, especially among such select guests, like myself, of course. Boastfully takes a sip and glances at his briefcase. Your briefcase must be indispensable so as to be brought along with you here. His face sours for a moment as he draws it closer. If your chances of striking gold rested on a few sheets of paper, you wouldn't want to part with it either. It seems to me you're new in Arkham. What brings you here? He clears his throat as if to emphasize his own self-importance. Suffice to say that I am here for business. I came all the way from Detroit as Mr. Griffith's guest. You may recognize him as the owner of the cotton factories. Do you have any idea what this event is about? It's the world premiere of what awaits us, a pinnacle motion picture entertainment. I've heard it's called scientific fiction title about the, I guess that's a old-fashioned way of saying science fiction, about the destiny of mankind. Rumor has it that the producer has spent millions. Better be worth it. Are you Mr. Hines by any chance? So you've heard about me. News of success travels fast, I'm told. May I ask who you? A spruce gentleman suddenly intervenes. Gosh, Hines, have you sworn to embarrass me in front of every self-important figure in Arkham? I thought I made myself clear. You were to wear a tuxedo, not an orange checked suit. Have you no sense of propriety at all? The cozy smile melts into shame. But Mr. Griffith, how could I have known I would attend a special occasion such as this? Your excuse is even lamer than your choice of attire. If those improprieties persist, I may have to review our agreement concerning my affiliates. I am entrusted with their reputation. He wipes droplets of sweat from his forehead. Yes, Mr. Griffith, I will attribute the utmost importance to such delicate matters in the future. Now about the contract, I would... Inappropriate, Hines. Such formalities will be settled another time. Now I must have a word with Mayor Anderson, if you'll excuse me. Well, I need your help about the hazard suit. Now is not the time, excuse me. He scampers after the factory owner. Mr. Griffith, if you would just consider... Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to host you at this terrific event tonight. I hope you all enjoy this miracle of the century. I hope you enjoy what awaits us. Okay, that was a very cool animation. So I guess what happened is they watched it, and then they got driven mad and slaughtered each other. But I still need to find the industrialist's corpse. Blueprints for Heinz hazard suit. Okay, but I would still like some of that woman's tears, as creepy as it sounds. Because I kind of need it also. Like, find the corpse of Amelia, yeah, right. She had like a white dress. Amelia's pearls. And tears of memory. Cast the Nightwalk spell. Okay. So I think I'm done here for the time being. I have to pause for a second, be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, let's see what does the spell. Or the hazmat suit require of me. Wait, you're telling me I can't do it? Cast the Nightwalk spell. Manufacture the suit or find someone who can do it for you. Okay, so I'll go back to town then and ask around. In your journey, you encounter an area infested by plants with dark, dead thorns. At this stage, altering your course entails a loss of time and resources. But it's not like the pitch-black sea of thorns is a cause of no concern either. Draw your machete and hack your way through the vegetation. In the company of cracking sounds, the broad blade of the machete cuts down the hostile-looking black plants. You literally burrow yourself a tunnel through this field and advance forward. I wanted to preserve kerosene. You're assaulted by raving lunatics. Actually, the raving lunatics are pretty easy to defeat, so I might fight them because I still get angst even if I run. And obviously, if I kill them, I'll get experience as well. What? You're telling me I don't have a line of sight? Now that's what I call a pistol. There's this guy that does radio. He's like a tinker kind of character. So maybe he can make the hazmat suit for me. But I'll ask in the pawn shop as well. He's in French Hills, right? Okay, I'll rest. Learn the new spell, Children of Pazuzu. What does that do? The caster summons a verminous horde which can invade 7 hex areas. Requires a unit of ration to be able to cast. The swarms may spread to other combatants, whether they are enemies or allies. Okay, that's kind of cool for encounters with a lot of enemies. Although, how do I cast? I guess I have to research the Nightwalker spell, so I need to rest again, actually. I can sell this at this point. I have the blueprints for a hazard suit. Can you help me build it? He silently inspects the technical plans. Well, I can say that the designer barely had the proficiency to convey the principles of his own technology, but the idea is there. I have neither the time nor the energy to realize this task for you, but considering you own the necessary components, I can instruct you on how to build it yourself. Now, do you have the components? Or not? I have pressing matters to attend to. I'll have them shortly. Until then. What are they? I guess I have to take a look at the blueprint. Oh, so you're telling me all of the things all of the blueprints that I had, I have never learned them because having them doesn't equal. Okay, that's stupid. I've been wondering about the mirror box and all that. What? That's very counterintuitive. Chemical filter and textiles. Where can I get chemical filters? Okay, I don't have survival. Do you have a chemical filter? You don't. That's pretty stupid that you don't learn the schematics you pick up. You have to, like... That's a little convoluted. And because I thought by having the blueprint, I know it, but I do not. I had to separately click on it. And, you know, it totally checks out with the problems that I've been having, because... I've been wondering, for example, even early in the game, why can't I create the mirror box myself? And that was because I couldn't, because I didn't read the schematics. Well, have you learned how to cast it? You did. The Nightwalk. The caster gains immunity to environmental hazards and becomes difficult to detect. Tears of Memory is a required component. I do have it, although I'm not quite sure how to make him cast it out of combat. But I'll see to that. I'll be wearing the hazard suit anyway. Just to be sure. Okay, and there's a crafting table at the Marsh warehouse. Oh, I've spotted something. Also leveled up. I'll take supernatural defense. Might be kind of useful against some of those more eldritch horrors. Lowers maximum health by 6. Sure. Why not? Okay, cannot open this. A pity. Damn it. I could have put a point into science and made this, but... Okay, how do I make him cast the spell? Like that, apparently. Okay, there's passage through here, but the street actually continues. Can I continue this way? Or am I going to go insane? I guess I'm continuously going kind of insane. I think I'm not going to fight it. I'll just... Yeah, there's like 4 of them. I somehow don't foresee my chances as being like super great. So, I guess I just can't get there unless I fight them, but I don't think I can defeat them. So they are kind of barring the passage. I'll save and try again, but I'm pretty sure this is meant to be... I guess I spoke too soon. As anything else in this anomalous street, these embittled corpses of its once living denizens look pale and lifeless as a dust particle. Okay, that's the end of the street. What's the difference between the route over there versus the route here? Like, is it named something? No. Where does this go? Further into the... Okay, so where does the other one go then? What? Did I go backwards? Could have sworn I passed through this at a certain point. Okay, I wasn't here, that's for sure. Is it only good for loot though? I kinda don't need loot at this stage of the game. The crucifix is tacked above the door, and it seems to be the only object held in any kind of high esteem in this squalid place. Apparently I can talk to this being. This abominable, grotesque entity inside the house seems like the living embodiment of maddening discrepancy, impossibly standing there as a hermaphrodite amalgamation of a human male and a woman who have merged into each other. The creature, whose faces are inseparably intertwined, talks as one entity in dual mouths opening and closing in perfect harmony. From beyond the garden the apostle arrives. As it was told, he is simply one, eternally separated from his other half. The doubling chorus of its voice has a nauseating effect on you. You still preserve some form of consciousness in this form? I am the one who was broken, now mended. I am the one who was in conflict, now at peace. I am the one who was divided, now whole. I am the one who was two, but became one. I am Edemava of the Lord God, risen from the ashes of old men, the obsolete. Welcome to the garden, Apostle. Its many eyes blink in a disturbing pattern. You have been expected. How did you end up like this? What's going on in this street? Once I wasn't whole like this. In the shadows of purgatory I was separated, living as two, as husband and wife, a couple with the fear of Lord God in their hearts. They were clueless, scared and lost, questioning, crying over why the Lord God had condemned them to this realm of eternal twilight. They read the holy book over and over and prayed through the endless, lightless days. The creature moves an array of numerous limbs in a hysterical manner, repenting their sins, repenting all the sins of mankind. They scream at how men failed the Lord God, cried and repented, and prayed and repented. I see. Until the heavenly light appeared in the sky, all of its strangely colored membranous eyes look at the point above with awe. Oh, how beautiful it was! The colors, all the colors of Eden, never saw their likes on earth. Right away, the godly light punished the ones who had no hope of salvation, scourged them to ashes and bone. With both of its mouths, the creature hisses in disdain. Lonely, barren, self-seeking ones they were. Then the light embraced the others, embraced us. We felt the love of creation deep inside. It gave us the chance to be blessed as a whole, became the new favorite of the Lord God, to populate the Garden of Eden. But the others, as Adam and Eve did in the past, they failed him. Forsaking his path, they turned into blasphemers, and thirsting for the bliss of light, sleeping under the earth. Only I remained faithful. Adam and Eve had already been damned when they ate the forbidden fruit. Their separation was their end. But I am whole. Man and woman merged into one. Adamava, the serpent can neither separate nor deceive me now. Yeah, that's some, whatever you're taking. Your dealer's quite great, but I somehow doubt this has anything to do with the Abrahamic God. It seems that you're using your obsession with biblical mythology to rationalize your condition. The creature locks his many eyes on you. Do not give ear to the serpent, Apostle. When faced with the scorching light of the divine, Satan uses denial as a tool to part us from the truth. For his forked tongue drips with lies, and the words you hear in your mind belong to him, and him only. Well, what do you want? What God has in mind for me? The hermaphroditic creature responds with a blissful, arachnoid motion, filling you with revulsion. The apostle seeks the truth now. You understand the deed which has to be done to protect the new children of God. You will indeed find my firstborn son. Oh, blessed be the holy light, blessed be the colors divine. I know I'm going to regret this, but tell me more. Deep signs of worry infect both of its faces. My firstborn son, Cabal, committed what was forbidden. He took the life of his brother, Abel, and abandoned me, the womb father, to join the forsaken ones. O apostle of the fallen, my son has sinned, and I know that he will sin again, unless you bring him to me. Only you can dissuade him from the thorny path of the profane. I know there is salvation for him. For the love of God, I call on your final duty as the apostle of old men. Both voices of the hermaphrodite tremble with a deep maternal longing. Bring me Cabal, my firstborn son, back into my arms. Who are those forsaken? Others whom Lord God has gifted with the chance of redemption were the ones who turned it down. They ate all of the forbidden fruit, and like carrion beasts they crave mindlessly for the light of the sleeper beneath. So you're talking about the cultists. Their son joined the cultists. I'll watch out for him, but I'm making no promises. You shall find him inside the garden, running alongside the Forsaken. Tell Cabal that his womb father forgives him. Tell him that there is still a place for him in the heavens. This is an uncouth question. I'm not going to... I'll better leave. Where is the quest? Return Cabal to his parents. Wants me to find his son, Cabal. I have to pause for a second, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and one of my companions wanted to talk. The outsider talks while gazing down at the hermaphroditic creature. Now I see that the tender love of family may be exhibited even in the damned souls such as this, and I unavoidably ask the gods, what was I lacking? Well, maybe you had a family, but lost those memories to the long march of time. Unfortunately, stranger, it makes no difference to me. What is lost to the decayed pages of the past resonates just the same as something that has never happened. I will look for their son among the cultists. Although, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure if he would be that much well better off here. But the cultists are clearly insane and also insanely violent. So you know, if I can at the very least persuade him to forsake the cultists, that's kind of already that's already a benefit to me, and probably to him. But I will look for him next time, because this episode has been long enough. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!